everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be making a satyr for Beltane. Yes, I know it's a mermaid, but I'm not going to be making a mermaid this year.
Oh no!
This is the head of a Resinsoul Ming. I have the rest of them, don't worry. I just dismantle them for customization. So without further ado, let's grab the doll bowl and get started. Here we have the bowl of parts. This is just so I don't lose any. He has pretty eyes, but I have a different idea. So we'll have to remove them. Take the cap off and just poke and pry them and take the putty out. They're a pretty color, so I'll keep them for a future project. Now for new eyes, I decided to try polymer clay as a base this time. I just popped it into my mold, scraped off the excess, and then dropped it into my science pan. I want to try for double irises, so I alter the indent. Now that they're baked, I painted them white. I mixed up some gold, brown, and green clay to fill the indents. Take an X-Acto knife and cut into and shape the iris details. This layer got a thin coat of UV resin. I then added 4 black rhinestones to another dot of resin for the pupils. I then domed them. Poorly. They came out like this. While very cool, they just didn't give the right vibe, so I'll just pack them away for now. My wife introduced me to the concept of a broken bloomed pupil. Beautiful yet eerie. That was the vibe I wanted, so I got to work. I found a tiny bit of ancient white clay and used that for my bases. I didn't have a pale green color, so I mixed together a forest green and some white. then repeated the process for the irises. A rhinestone wouldn't work well for this type of eye, so I painted the pupils the way I wanted them to be. The doming went better this time. I have a bad habit of getting anxious and rushing when using resin. I also coated the outside to make it look wet. There we go! I wanted him to have creepy eyes, but seem otherwise unassuming. Just a vibe that something was off, but you couldn't quite tell what. Onto his wig. First, I covered his head in plastic wrap. Then made a wig cap out of glue. This should help it sit better on his head. Once dry and cool, I covered it all in stretch fabric. This is very difficult to do with such big ears. I then layered on Mod Podge. Usually I do 3 layers. This was a mistake. The wig cap wasn't nearly flush enough or hard enough, but I tried to salvage it anyway. I made a ton of wefts. These are from Shimmerlocks. I really wanted brown hair with accents of green. So I got gluing. Starting at the back and working my way forward, I hot glued on the wefts. I had the styro ball, but it came with a 1/3 size uncle wig. So this one doesn't fit and kept falling off. I tried to use it anyway. Once I tried to style it into waves, but it was not working. I had some braids, and I hated it. Absolutely hated it. Take 2! This custom was a comedy of errors. I didn't have enough hair left, so I had to pivot. A short style that would look good, right? So I got some yarn out that I had and started brushing. I decided I wanted the sides to have flocking. I chopped up the fluff from brushing out yarn wefts into this little cup. I had to make another wig cap. This time I used 6 layers. It still didn't sit tight enough, so I ran a stitcher on the edge. Also glued the hot glue cap into the wig cap. Once done, I glued on the flocking following Mozekito's half-shave tutorial. I then glued on the yarn wefts. And chopped it all up. Then put it in its place with styling wax. I still wasn't sure about it until I saw it with the face up. Until then, I was scouting various sites for other wigs, just in case. Speaking of, it's time! We'll start with blushing the pieces. My method is to put in the darks, then blend with the midtone. I don't really control where it goes, I just let it do whatever. Seems to come out more natural that way. YouTube, this Pangus is made of resin. It's not real. Chill out. I had to blush the pieces in stages as there were so many of them. I could only spray so many at once. For his goat fur legs, I just blushed with browns and black. I learned this from when I scored a Dream Valley hippogriff for my bestie. For the horns, I just painted them brown. It took about 3 coats. I can't stand bare nails normally, so I painted his green with gold tips. His hooves I painted black. And then added gold shoes. Finally, the face-up. First we blushed like crazy. And sketch on his eye lines. Pencils look scratchy on resin, so we'll go over these layers with paint later. I'm not great at makeup looks, but my bestie and I agreed that he at least needed winged eyeliner. For my boys, I tend to leave their lips neutral. I then brushed on his eyebrows in pastel. And added hairs in 3 colors. I also mapped out 2 dots near his tear ducts and darkened the eyelines. I brushed on green and gold eyeshadow. I really wanted to bring out the green of his eyes and hair. Time for acrylics. First is the eyelid crease. Let's take off mistakes with a toothpick. I wanted something more. So I decided to do it, and man am I gonna butcher this, but I am trying. Owadien? In ancient China, noble women would wear them with flowers or birds on their forehead. Mine ended up looking like a fairy, but seems appropriate. I then added gold paint to it. I then painted his dots gold and added gold eyeliner. Painted in the waterline and eyebrow hairs. bottom lashes, blended the lashes with some black pastel, and I glossed the waterline and lips. Attaching the upper lashes was difficult this time, mostly because I measured and cut them wrong. They were too long, and that made them unruly. We're gonna try to borrow some of Moonlight Jewel's editing magic here. Oh my god, he's gorgeous. I love it. Using his measurements, after restringing him, I created a shirt and pants block. I then altered those to the styles I wanted. An open, sleeveless jacket. And drop crotch gathered pants with an overskirt. This is nothing special, just white cotton jersey. I find it behaves pretty well for doll clothes. The jacket looks like this, but it was way too plain. Let's jazz it up with some embroidery. Up to this point, I'd made do with satin stitches and backstitching. I decided it was time to learn some new tricks. So the jacket is made with a combination of fishbone and herringbone stitches. I made a bunch of leaves and vines. For some extra pizzazz, I pulled out my transparent gold beads. I didn't have many of these left, so I had to be sparing. Thanks, Meryl. I forgot about his collar, so I cut 2 pieces and embroidered one. And add interfacing to the other before attaching. If you have any tiny iron recommendations, let me know in the comments. Mine is almost dead. I think it lays quite nicely on him. For his pants, I first sewed one crotch seam and hemmed the bottom. For the overskirt, I added a French knot to my bag of tricks. This will be the front and will attach with snaps. I then attached the back of the skirt and embroidered it too. I was really feeling the herringbone stitch at this point. I added the very few beads I had left to both pieces. I then sewed a channel and an elastic waist. Just poked myself numerous times here because I didn't notice the safety pin I was using was bent. That was fun. I tacked down the ends with a few hand stitches. And then made it more secure with my machine. At that point, I gathered the legs, so all that was left was to slightly do up the other crotch so I could put it in a snap and sew up the inseam. I made this belt out of brocade. And this arm decoration out of wire. And he's finished! I'm sorry these photos aren't the best. I don't want to risk taking him outside as his stand is not very stable. I need a better one. But I'm very happy with how he turned out. I really struggled with his design for months really. And couldn't settle on anything. But finally I just let him do what he wanted, and ended up with the right beauty. He's the consort of my Z, or she, if that is correct, it's XI, who will be getting a new outfit more fitting of her rank when I can. I'll take some photos of them together at this point. Thanks for watching, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next month for a really fun collab.